Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM23 Youth Factory. This is episode 31. We are just about to kick off the season. It's match day 1. But before we get into it, a couple things. First off, one positive is that our season ticket sales, not that it really matters in the grand scheme of how many butts there are in seats, but we did go from a $3.99 in season ticket sales to $5.01, so a full 100 increase. But here's the thing about that makes that an interesting stat. It's 2027. We've been in this for 5 years. Over those previous seasons, we went from 300 to 399. Took that long to go from 300 to 399. And in 1 year, professional status, the tier we're in, the stadium we're going to be in this year, I don't know. I don't know what the deciding factor in this was. I'm guessing it's the stadium is the most likely, some sort of percentage of stadium. So as that capacity goes up and as we're going to be able to fill out more, season ticket sales went up. I don't think it has anything necessarily to do with the fact that we're playing half an hour away from home and we're drawing local fans. Maybe. Could be. Well, anyway, here's the other thing. And this one, not good. You may have noticed behind me up here that our preseason season preview is not looking great, actually. We are used to having 8, 9, 10 positions in the Media Dream 11 this year. Just 4. We are used to having the top 2 players in the key players category because it is ranked by quality. This one is a secret way to know who the best players in the league are because that one is direct. It's not about the media on that. It's literally taken right off of current ability. Ryan Gordon, only the 2nd best player in the league. Redknapp, only the 4th best player in the league. What's more disturbing about that is that it's Real Bedford who have the 1st and 3rd. They have better players than we have. Not only do they have better key players than we have, but in that Media Dream 11, including the goalkeeper, they have 6 players in the best 11. We have just 4. And the entire rest of the league has just 1 member of that Media Dream 11. They are odds-on favorites, 1 to 16. They're also coming off of promotion as we are, but we're just 11 to 10 odds. I mean, we're almost a 1-to-1 chance of the league, but they have a significantly better chance. We are not the favorites, and as you look at the breakdown just behind us, it is littered with teams that were in the 6th tier at the start of this, and or 5th tier, but I think mostly 6th. Maidenhead United, St. Albans, who we open our season against, the 4th best team in the league. That's going to be an important match today. Salisbury, Weston Supermare, Taunton Town, Swindon, right? And there, Truro City. Okay, here's our quick update on Cornwall. The highest ranked club in the world in real life from Cornwall is Truro City. Truro City play in the 6th tier in real life. So they are that 1 tier above. They're in the National League South. Here, they have been relegated. Did we play them last year in a cup tournament? I think we did, right? I think we went head-to-head with them. They are still here in the 7th tier this year. 25 to 1 odds, mid-table. We technically, if we finish above them this season, will become the highest rated Cornwall club. I think realistically, promotion to the 6th tier is where I will confirm that, because IRL, they're in the 6th tier. We need to at least match that. In game, okay, fine. They've fallen down, right? So that's a soft pass. The hard pass is when we get to that 6th tier and they're not there, and we are, and then you could say, hey, we're the best Cornwall club. As things go, right, that list of Southwest, the Devon, Somerset, Dorset, the full Southwest, as you broaden that list is getting significantly shorter. Now, we are a team that just turned professional. Good and bad is coming with that. One, we haven't had any offers all summer. Since we turned professional, nobody seems interested in our players right now. You got to overpay. We're at a level that I think things are just working out right now. So that's good. We could be retaining our players. That's a huge positive because we may not be getting automatic promotion this year. It very well is a possibility. This is going to be tough. There's quite a few teams here with some quality. We lost a fair bit of quality, but we are professional. So we're going to be training more often. But at the moment, the number of professional full-time contracts that the players is on is still rather limited. We had a lot of new contracts that started this summer, so it's a little too soon to sign them up. And there's a few eligible players that are like, 7th tier. Yeah, you know what? I'm better than that. I should be playing higher than that. I don't want to re-sign with you. Those are our best guys, like Redknapp. Redknapp's kind of the biggest problem right now for us. But of course, the other big bonus is whether it's immediate or eventual for these players, we are shifting to that full time, which means they're going to be able to train more. One thing I have not been doing at all is the extra focus. I've been keeping players because they're only training 2 days a week on just general training, position training, team training. That's it. No extra focus for players when it was only 2 days a week. Now that we're going to be shifting to full time, right now too many players aren't on the contracts, but as the season goes on and as I'm able to suddenly sign most everyone here in a month or two, I'm going to start adding those assignments in. So now I'll start getting some direct focus of, here's your weakness, let's not have that be a weakness, or here's something we want to capitalize on and we're going to try to develop that. So the extra focus coming soon. Downside though, downside to turning professional, downside to having 5 training sessions a week, injuries. This preseason, I have seen more injuries than any other season I have encountered in this playthrough. Some of our guys got injured in the first couple of days of our preseason and were very much absent. So getting them back, getting them healthy, keeping them healthy, it's going to require a little more squad rotation, I think, this season for sure. But that is a worrying side to going professional. At the moment, though, I'm quite happy that it's kind of creating a hands-off from bigger clubs. We're pro. They're not going to get the players as cheap, and therefore they're not as interested at the moment. Now, as we climb another tier or two, then I'm sure that interest will come right back. Because our contract values will be small enough that they'll once again get that interest back. But in the short term, this could be another tier or two of progression for us without losing a wide swath of players. And that's going to be important because here we are, second favorites, clear second favorites. I mean, you could see why they are heavy favorites. They are dominating the list, and we, for the first time, other than season 1, for the first time, do not have the best players in the league. Okay, well, opening match of the season, a lot of new faces. A couple of those faces were gone for almost the entirety of the preseason, so they've not had time to build up their fitness and or get used to the club. Our new goalkeeper was on international duty for most of the summer with Germany U19s. He's just come back to us about a week ago, so he is fresh. He is just coming back, so he's definitely not gelled with the team at all, but he at least had a preseason. He had matches. He was playing a lot. Our new striker, so Mahara, Monahan, Penry's dangerous position with that turnover. Arthur gets a shot that looked like it was deflected right off the leg, but it goes out for a goal kick. Sumahara injured on like day 3 of preseason before we ever had a match. Just a few days of training. That was it. At that point, such an unlucky deflection, and St. Albans City are going to get the opener in this one on what appears to be the second shot of the game. Really poor defending from McFadden there. McFadden continues to be a struggle for us, but such an unlucky deflection off of Hassel puts that ball in a perfect spot. Yeah, that was their second shot of the match. Good amount of XG from that chance, as point blank range. Nothing we could do to stop that one, but otherwise they hadn't done anything yet. We seemed to be a little more threatening in the opening 20 minutes, but not by much. This is a close match. Atkins already on a yellow. Nice ball over the top for Sumahara, and he levels a score with his first goal for club in his first match for the club. He just came back from his injury that he suffered in that third day of preseason. He just came back from it probably 5-6 days ago, like the day after our last preseason match, or 2 days after. Enough time to get healthy and fit to play today, though his fitness, right, as he hasn't played through the preseason, is not there, so he may not be able to go the distance today. But either club not getting very many chances. This has been a defensive affair so far in this one. Scores are level. It's nearly halftime. Big opportunity. Poor defensive play from Hassel. The rookie Hassel has now made 2, you got to call them mistakes, right? He gets to this ball first, misses the header. He deflects the one, so both goals are not bad mistakes from Hassel, but something that Quintafera or Schmizek, you would have expected them to succeed in not deflecting but blocking the first one, and not missing but winning the header on that one. Neither one of them are going to miss those. And so the absence of our key defenders is glaringly obvious right now, as they've had 2 shots on target and they've got 2 goals, and neither one of those should have amounted to attempts. The halftime talk fired up almost everyone, but not quite. There's about 8 players that are really fired up by giving the dad treatment, the "I'm not angry, I'm disappointed." I've only used that maybe twice in this year's game, but it's gone well when I've used it. There were a couple players, though, that were totally not happy with that one. Here's Redknapp. Oh, I'll nearly turn it over. And then Atkins does turn it over. Barlow on the counter, offside for Griever. Not even close. Flag never even raised. In fact, he intentionally holds flag down to say it was onside, but Griever was 6 yards behind anybody else. Now, I know he's making a run, so it's probably a lot tighter than that 6 yards, but no idea how he's 6 yards behind. Gosh, I've tried to click that button like 3 times now. It still won't go. Webb's on a yellow, and Atkins and Sumahara. Oh, so close. So close. Finally, I'm able to get that command confirmed. Keeper punches that one away. Moreland. Ooh, switching the ball to the wing, and we don't make a play for it. Defense comes from a long ways away. Sumahara. Wow. Yeah, he's doing pretty all right, the rookie. What problem is, though, we're still trailing 2-1 here. Mostly down to kind of the defensive mistakes. Webb on a yellow is worrying. Atkins on a yellow is worrying. I might have to do something here. Another ball over the top. Sumahara chips the keeper, beats the keeper. Bailed out by the woodwork. So close to getting a second. And Gordon does! He's on a yellow now, too. Gosh, that is a lot of yellow cards, but a huge goal there. The early portion of this season is going to be the most critical to not drop too many points. I know we're going to drop some points today, for example. Easily could turn out to be a draw. It's bound to happen. But if we keep the bleeding to a minimal, Nothing profuse. No massive bleeding. Just minor bleeding early on in this season, then we've got a great chance to come out on top or second. Real Bedford look really good. At the very least, obviously. Hello, stoppage time. Gosh, that snuck up. 20 minutes. The leveler, and then we've had, one highlight? That 20 minutes just flew by. The substitutions that I would like to make, a lot of them are going to be yellow card. Atkins has been on this yellow for a very, very long time, so we're going to get Thornhill in, Gordon, and let's get Kasungo Matumbo. Webb, well done. Cut that out. Hassel, long ball. Samahoro holds up the ball well. I'm impressed with how he's done in this first game. Evans just gets there first. And oh man, would that have been a chance if we had been able to get a leg up and get a touch on it before it reaches the keeper? Oh, that's a tap-in goal right there. But Samahora does well in his opener. 6.9 rating, not the greatest, but Hassel and Webb. It has been for numerous seasons that our center backs do well. Always in the sevens. Our fullbacks struggle. Redknapp does better than McFadden. Does so here. Both of them manage to get into the sevens. Who doesn't? Who gets the mid-sixes? Who gets a 6.3 in his first time playing with the team? Berchielli, Webb, Hassel. They struggled. That's a concern. Atkins played well. Gordon is our best player now, so 7.8 rating for him. No surprise he gets a goal and an assist. Man, oh man, we need him to stay healthy, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. Arthur did okay in his debut, 6.6. We got the debut out of the way. We do drop points, but we don't lose. That's key. St. Albans City, they only get one. We only get one. We need to keep pace with that top 4 or 5 teams and then make sure we're not dropping points against others. This could be a tough season, but I think I am going to go a bit faster than last season. A couple of reasons why. One, it's okay if we don't win the league. It's okay if we go promotion playoffs and whatever. But if we're not losing players, we ultimately will be better and significantly better over the course of the season. So I'm more confident in our ability to keep pushing, even if it comes at the expense of not necessarily winning the league. But I'm confident we will be able to. These guys will get better. They'll step up. We're professional now. I have some confidence that wasn't there at the beginning of last season. Not that we're going to win, especially with Bradford City, but some confidence that we will be competitive enough to a point that we should easily make the promotion playoffs, and that'll be a time, obviously, to focus intently on what we're doing. But I think we could be in for a second place this year. The fear was a slow start, and that is what we have had. After that 2-2 draw to open the season, we went on the road to Poole. Poole Town is not one of the bigger clubs. We score early, they score late, and we give up 2 points once again. But it's on the road at least. Then we go home and absolutely crush with a losing Chris Webb in the 12th minute. They get somebody sent off, but it's literally at the end of the game. But we do end up winning 4-0, so we are capable of putting together something pretty good. We played almost the entire match with 10 and still won 4-0. Then Chesham United on the road, 3-0. Another quality performance. Gordon, Lanahan, Penreese. Different squad selection, going from the assistant manager opting for a little bit more of a veteran squad than what I'm aiming for. So a little bit different lineup that will help, at least as I kind of shift in and out of going on vacation, quick selection, and playing some matches. The shift between those will help on that squad rotation, I figure, a bit. An own goal from Peter McFadden is the loss as we go on the road. So on the road so far, we are 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. At home, a win and a draw. This is not looking at the moment like a team that is poised to be going up anytime soon. This is a team that might be on the fringes of making promotion playoffs as the season goes on. Bergielli not putting in top-notch performances at all at the moment. Kitching struggling, getting the start. No surprise, he's should be a backup. Red card suspension, maybe, the reason for his selection. But McFadden having a terrible match with the own goal. Gordon really struggling. I mean, that is unheard of for him to be doing so poorly. Really, kind of across the board, a lot of the team struggling. Sumahara is getting regular appearances off the bench, but he's not getting the starts. Kasango Mutombo, Kamara coming off the bench frequently as well. I think Wilkinson, Thornhill are picking up a lot of the starts over guys that I would be selecting otherwise. I guess one positive that I can get out of the poor performance is I can issue those warnings. Of course, for those who don't know, there's a bit of a trick when they're below a 6.4. It's safe. So 6.3 and below, you can safely criticize or fine poor performances. And while it won't be universal, many of those players, close to half, will end up actually getting a boost to their either determination or work rate through that use of criticism. I don't know if I already did Kasango Mutombo or not as I was talking through what I just did, but we'll see with the emails as they pop up the next day. Here's those responses. They accept their warning. McFadden. Of course, McFadden hates everything right now, so no surprise that he's whining, but he owned gold and cost us the game, so he should be accepting it. But here is they apologize for the poor performance, feels that he deserves it, and he will try to motivate himself more. That's the key. So he, as we look at Dan Kitching, there will be a jump in his work rate. There it is. McFadden, wah. He's shocked about it. Oh, he shouldn't be. He was the worst. There's another one. Ryan Gordon with a boost. He picked up work rate. And Thornhill without comment. So 2 of the 4 players that we criticized, and that means I did not talk to Kasango Mutombo. There's still time. We'll talk to him as well to make it 5. But 2 out of the 4 ended up with a boost to their attributes. And that one was without comment. So 2 out of 5, but only 2 out of 4 actually accepted. There should be an automatic. When it's below 6.4, it should be automatic that they accept. So them to not accept is a rarity. From 6.4, 6.5, you're kind of running the risk that they may not accept it because it wasn't that bad of a performance. But yeah, 6.3 and below. Well. So our talk with McFadden actually did have something else come out of it, and that was an improvement in his attitude. But it's more ambitious. Ambition is not exactly a great trait. That means they want to play at that higher level, means they're going to push more when a higher offer comes in, and that is why I'm having issues with McFadden, because right at the start of summer, one offer came in for pennies. It was like 1,000. Literally, it was 1,000. And it was Bradford City. I make sure that I'm not confusing the two, because earlier I did say that, or I said Bedford City. It's real Bedford. But Bradford City came in and offered, I think they might be Championship, they might be League One, but either way, Bradford City came along and offered us like 1.2 thousand from McFadden. And he got super pissed that we did not accept that. He's gotten over it now, and then this latest thing a couple weeks later has seen him whine some more. So he has become quite the whiner of late. I actually wouldn't mind losing McFadden because he's been so bad for us all along. But slowly but surely, he has improved. He is finally up to a 70. He's still, like, last 5 games, 6.72. Average rating, 6.72. He remains poor. All these tiers that we've climbed, he has been poor each and every season. But he's serviceable at left back, and Kamara finally comes along and is going to offer a challenge. But, you know, Kamara's only a 59. He's got a 6.6 rating so far off the bench 3 times. But more and more, he's going to get that time. More and more, he's going to improve. I would happily let McFadden go for that right cost at some point, because he's been probably throughout these years the player I've been most frustrated with besides Greg. And Greg actually did okay last season. It's more just that Greg has never improved. I think he started as a 44. He's now 47. He was a 46 when he retook over the starting position last year. He's a 47. So the guy has no ambition whatsoever. He's one that I wouldn't mind replacing, which we have. But Berchielli, struggling so far, but already improving, I think. I want to say Berchielli was like a 69 when he took over, when he came in, or maybe it was a 70 flat. He's a 72 now. I think he's improving. 2 more matches, 2 more wins, 2 more injuries. So the good and bad continues. Our position has improved with the 6 points that we just picked up here. Gordon scoring in the first minute, Lanahan Penreese in the fourth. That was already enough to win the game, but we add 1 in the third to pull away from the Brett Edge opener for Swindon Supermarine. Gordon, looks like we also missed a penalty in this one. Overall, though, performance is looking much better than some of the previous ones. Atkins still struggling in that. Mortland, that was the first of the injuries. Bedford. Here, Wilkinson picks up as we win 3-1. It's a penalty we gave up there. We sealed the deal in stoppage time. It was 2-1 prior to that. McFadden, again, struggling. For now, 7 matches now played in the league. We do have a plus 10. We're 1 point behind Taunton Town. It looks like we could pull away from them. Truro City, just behind us, level on points. So there's the battle for Cornwall. But with where we're at, what's happening, I think short term, we're battling out 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th kind of place. Long term, I think we can pull into a better position. But Real Bedford, perfect on the season so far, plus 17 for them. Total domination. They look much better than we are. Bedford is a team that looks good. Their balance is better than ours is. 6.3 million. They have made nearly $3 million in profit this season. They have a big budget. Their current salary is $5.3 million. $5.3 million is their current salary. Wow. And they still have over $1 million left in... how are they doing this? What, do they have like a massive stadium? What is their deal? They're fairly professional. They are fully professional, so we're not alone, folks. We are not the only professional team down here. They have secure finances like we do, local reputation like we do. Their youth facilities are adequate. Their training facilities are the same as ours, other than the youth facilities obviously not being at the same level. That's all identical to what we have. I don't like seeing my rivals like this. That's accidental, but here we are anyway. You can see that their squad is littered with players in the 80s and 70s. They've got quality, and they're pretty young. How they've acquired this team, I'm not quite sure, but they are doing good things. Well, salary, right? They're massively overpaying compared to what we are. We, by the way, I was worried about the finances and how that would look as we turn professional. More or less, we are looking at kind of a neutral balance now. But here's the thing about our finances, as we are fairly level and secure. So if we are drawing even, hey, that's all good, because the clauses are starting to kick in. Bick has a clause that we could sell for $7 million. Schmizek, that one sucks. I hate losing him to a League 2 side. That's just painful. I think that's something I should be able to block on our minimum security, just to add in, because we know that we're not going to get anything out of this. We lost Schmizek for essentially nothing. Trainer, on the other hand, that's another healthy one at $6.74 million. So a good 14 million on the two key ones there. Schmizek, there's no reason to try to sell that one, but two good sell-on clauses. I had a third in place, but they ended up going on loan. A couple of these guys are on loan at smaller clubs, but like Bick is now a squad player for Burnley, so he has really risen, is starting to perform and starting to make a name for himself. And you can see, the quality's still not quite there, but he's not far from it. And so even though our finances are now not really turning a profit anymore, these sell-on clauses will easily produce the finances that we need long-term to keep growing substantially more than what we would get out of, making small, 20,000 a month in profit. That 20,000, okay, sure, it's nice, but what does it add up to? 100,000, 150,000 over the course of a year, depending on the give or take in that department. Being neutral on that and then cashing in one of these deals a year for 6-7 million, 100,000, a million, 7 million, 6 million, right? That 6 million's worth way more than that 100,000 in profit. So we'll take neutral. If we're breaking even, that's great. Stadium upgrade, we're not going to be paying for the rental in a year. Like, good things are coming, and we're going to turn right around and try to keep reinvesting sooner rather than later. We need to get on with the next training facility upgrade. Last I checked, at the start of summer, we were not yet in a position to request that upgrade. We're professional now. I think we would get on with it, especially with the cash we have. Maybe I should check and see, is that even an option at this point? It is. Improved training facilities is available to us. Might as well. Let's see. And it's been accepted. The cost, it's rising. 2 million, 2.12 million. Not cheap. Not cheap. But we are going to be starting work on this one in 2 months' time, and it will complete in just over a month. So we'll have it by December. That 2 million definitely decreases the current funds. I think to make any further deals, obviously training facility wise, it's quite clear we're going to need more. If we're already at 2 million for this level, you figure we're going to be 3+ for the next level, and we're down to 3 now. So we will have to cash in on one of those deals here at some stage. No problem though. We've got them. We've got them there, and cashing in early is not a big deal. We can just maintain a nice high level of finances as we go along. But the trick on that one is you have to kind of offset some things, because there's going to be taxes, and we're paying a healthy amount in taxes this year because of the profit we turned last year. If we can see a negative this year, then we're not going to be paying any taxes in the year to come. And then you turn around next year, cash in, and make sure you spend some so you don't end up just sitting on that wad of cash and end up paying a ton of taxes on it. Got to be careful on that ratio. So if anything, maybe we want to collect before the end of this year. That's the way the tax bills work here. They're talking about your football season is how they break it down. So we will be falling into having to do that before the end of this current season. We would want to cash in on one of those. Probably would make that tax bill a bit less, having spent 2 million. Definitely gonna have to do some squad rotation in more ways than one. Berchielli on international duty, Redknapp hurt, Mortland is hurt, Gordon is exhausted. Changes coming. Let me flip this squad and see what we can do. We're on the road, so that's tough, but it's against one of the bottom teams in the league. We could hope to get a result, but with this amount of squad rotation, it may be tough. I'm just going to be using the instant result here, but here is what we came up with. So Grigg in goal, Evans at right fullback, Thornhill in at defensive mid, Kasango Matumbo to start at that right wing, which is a definite downgrade, as our best player then is on the bench in Gordon. And then Adekunle potentially getting his first appearance off the bench. Kitching also in, Kamara in on the bench. Definitely dropping down the order. But match load wise, because of the squad selection, the way that's been, I'm down to about half a dozen guys that are always selected by the assistant manager. And so that's going to help back off that workload at least a little bit in the short term. We've got an FA Cup match coming after this one. And without our key players, we absolutely dominate the match and somehow lose 2-0. A penalty for Wilson is the opener. They seal the deal with a little under 10 minutes to go and beat us 2-0 with only 2 shots on target for the entire game. Our defense just is not good enough. The midfield clearly, the attacking, we have the most chances. We have clearly the run of play. The possession goes our way at least 50-50 anyway, so we're not quite controlling the ball as much as we are used to. But still, from the amount of chances, the amount of shots, it's quite evident how dominant we were. And yet we go home with 0 points. That's the worrying thing about where we're at right now. This team, this level, it's just not quite good enough to go out there and take care of business against anyone, especially without us in control. So the dropping of points continues, and for now we are hovering right on that 4, 5, 6 kind of place. It's a little bit worrying. 2 losses already in just 8 matches. 2 draws already. We are winning 50% of the time. We're definitely still a good team. We're still one of the better teams in the league. But unless the development is rapid, unless we can keep players healthy, we could be in for a potential non-promotion this season. But if we do hang on to everyone, 1st of September now, so we're getting close to that deadline. If we can hang on to everyone throughout the year and January, head into another year in the same situation, in the same division, and then hopefully hanging on to everyone, or at least most everyone. Maybe you got one player leaving at the end of the season. I would think by next season, sure, we dominate. I wouldn't expect a real Bedford to be in the league next season, and I would expect us to have developed a lot, and maybe even before the end of this season, developed enough to start climbing over these teams. Between the training facilities, the staff that we have, the professional status that we have, Bedford might be on the same level playing field as we are in that regards, and have a salary that far exceeds ours. But what about after them? Salisbury? What are they looking like? Semi-pro with weak facilities. Okay, they actually have a negative balance, 100,000. Taunton Town, semi-pro. Truro City, semi-pro. Very similar for the other teams. We should be able to emerge ahead of these teams. Maidenhead, long time, 6th tier. They've been yo-yoing. They just got relegated, so they've been they were 5th tier for a long time. They back-to-back relegations and then promotion, 1 year of stability and then relegation. So this has very much been a yo-yo club, but coming down. It's only 2,000, so it's really not a big deal, but we just had a transfer clause kick in. Craig McDonald just got his first appearance for the Scottish national team. He's had 17 U21 appearances, but this was the senior squad. So Craig McDonald has just started making national team appearances for Scotland. It's not a weak nation. I mean, Scotland's pretty decent. He still doesn't have acceleration, but he's got the natural fitness. He's got a good mix. His mental attributes are fantastic, though. The determination, 19. Flair, 19. Vision, 17. The first touch is... Jeff left Middlesbrough to go on loan to Bristol Rovers, though. That's a surprise. Since leaving us. Leyton Orient, 25-26. Gillingham the next year. And now Bristol Rovers. All the while still with Middlesbrough, but they keep loaning him out to lower and lower clubs. transfer window has closed. No deals came along. No offers came along since early summer. That is fantastic, and that professional status, without a doubt, is what changed. It's going to put us in a good position as long as we're in this division anyway. I think the hands-off part, for the short term anyway, is now secure. That's going to keep players happy. It's going to keep players developing. Even if we don't climb this season, we'll certainly climb by next season. So I'm confident now going forward for a while, and to go fast at least through this season. FA Cup first qualifying round. Our opponent, Lancaster City, are a division below us, the division we just came from. So not necessarily an easy match, but we are at home, so we should be favored. But we've got a lot of squad rotation once again, with definitely not the strongest squad we could be putting out there. Also, our bench this time is littered with U21s, not the U18s. The U18s are better prospects, but they had a match today, so they weren't available. So it's the U21s that are going to fill that one out. We'll see how the team performs. I am taking the risk of an instant result. And it's 2-2. We score late, what looked like would be a winner, and then out of nowhere against the run of play, without possession, without attempts, once again, a goal is given up cheaply at the end. Dylan Scott scores 88th to equalize. Greg had a poor game. Evans had a poor game. McFadden had a poor game. Down the middle, though, for once, Webb and Hassel did okay, but it was against lower tier opposition. Sumahara had a terrible game. Ouch. He wasn't getting anything done. We do get 7 shots on target out of 21 attempts, but that's a harsh result, and it's going to lead to a replay in a few days, which is going to add to that workload, that match load for these players. Not what we needed. Not what we needed. I wouldn't mind getting knocked out of these other competitions early so we could focus on our season, see the players develop, see the players get healthy, see that growth. The extra matches, I guess, do help with the development side, but it adds to the injuries, it adds to the difficulty, and it makes the league harder. And right now, short term, obviously climbing the ladder is what we need more than anything else. We don't need a big FA Cup run when we're in the 7th tier, especially when it still throws us in the first qualifying round. It's going to get a little bit easier starting next year in those regards. But that is going to do it for this episode. Results are kind of iffy right now, but there is hope. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.